National Council for Law Reporting is a state corporation in Kenya, whose mandate basically is to publish the laws of Kenya and to publish the judicial decisions of the courts, being the High Court, the Court of Appeal, and the Supreme Court. We are a Commonwealth country. We gained independence from Britain in 1963. Therefore, our legal system is English-based. We have a Westminster type of constitution, which means that we have a legislature, judiciary, and the executive. And because it's a Commonwealth legal system, the doctrine of precedent is very important. Doctrine of precedent here being that the decisions of the higher courts are binding on the lower courts. And that is how the concept of law reporting arises. In our legal system, we have an independent judiciary. And this is the hierarchy of the courts in Kenya. We have at the apex, the Supreme Court. And then we have the High Court, which has original jurisdiction. So beyond reporting decisions of the High Court, the Court of Appeal, and the Supreme Court, we've gone outside the jurisdiction of Kenya, and we publish the decisions of the East African Court of Justice. And we do so where Kenya has a matter at the East Africa Court of Justice, or Kenya is a party. So we don't report all their decisions. We also select a few decisions of the International Criminal Court, the ICC, or in the International Criminal Justice Court. If Kenya has a matter in that court, we will take it, isolate it, and put it on our website. So this is the picture that depicts what the registries look like in the courts in Kenya. All right? And for a litigant or a lawyer who wanted to get a ruling or a judgment, you had to rummage through these files. So there was no organized way of getting information. All right. The situation has changed slightly, but it's still a challenge for many of our courts. The central courts have really tried to organize the information, but we are assisting them to do that. In our case, when an amendment was done, you had to cut the amendment and then paste it to the relevant sections of the Act. We like showing these two photos just to remind ourselves where we are coming from. For us, if you don't have this information online, updated, immediately it's amended or immediately a decision is delivered, then this is the situation that you are faced with. Being a British protectorate, we have a long law reporting history, which can be traced back to 1897 to 1905, when we had our first East Africa law reports. Similar to many African countries, these were published by the judiciary, headed by the Chief Justice. Kenya Law Reports now is our flagship product. This is how we publish our official law reports in Kenya. After 1957 to 1975, we had the Kenya Law Reports published in 1976 to 1980. These were compiled by the High Court judges. Now, this period was important because the official law reporting in the East African community had ceased because the East African community had collapsed in 1967. So this was an attempt by Kenya to revive official reporting. And for a period of 20 years, from 1980 to say 2001, there was no official law reporting in Kenya. Meaning if someone wanted to know what the court records were from the High Court and the Court of Appeal, you were not able to really tell categorically these were the decisions which were given. So what that meant is that for that period in Kenya, we had members of the public and the legal profession, they had restricted access to judicial opinions. Because judicial officers were not aware what the other was delivering in court, there were conflicting judicial opinions. And obviously that meant that there was uncertainty in the law and there was low judicial transparency. Currently, it's easier to publish the laws because we receive soft copies from the courts and we identify what cases are worth reporting. We publish them in the book format, and all the records in soft copy are published electronically online. The main challenge was tracing the poorly preserved records. If you saw the picture of the court registry, it's very difficult for you to go to isolate decisions from those files, identify which cases are worth reporting in the books, and even convert them from paper format to soft format so that you can publish them online. The second challenge was scanning the documents and proofreading them. The other challenge is that reporting of those decisions, reporting on decisions that may have been overruled. Based on these challenges, the government of Kenya decided to pass an act of parliament to anchor law reporting in law. And that is how the National Council for Law Reporting was passed in 1994. The main mandate of the National Council for Law Reporting was to publish Kenya law reports, which shall contain judgments, rulings, and opinions of the Superior Courts of Record, and to undertake such other or related publication as it may consider necessary. It took about 10 years for the government to give funding for the council to set up its secretariat. The secretariat was set up in 2001. At the time, it was headed by a High Court judge with barely, I think, 2 members of staff. Currently, we publish laws of Kenya. In addition to the judicial decisions, we publish the Parliamentary Hansard, Kenya Gazette. We have a law review journal, and et cetera, et cetera. Soon after we started publishing judicial decisions, we discovered that the judicial decisions go hand in hand with the legislations with the laws of the country. So we went ahead and compiled a database which had all the laws of Kenya in electronic formats, and we started publishing them on their website. The Attorney General's office paid attention to this development, and because they have the mandate to revise all the laws of Kenya, and they also had a backlog of 20 years that they had not revised all the laws, they delegated that mandate to the National Council for Law Reporting. So currently we have the power delegated to us by the Attorney General's office for us to revise the laws of Kenya. We've done so in two formats. We publish all the laws of Kenya on our website, and if you have internet access, you can access it for free. And we also do so in book formats. We have specialized editions of commercial laws, land laws, what we call the Grey Book, which contains the laws of Kenya which are referred to regularly. Currently, our mandate is twinfold, is to publish judicial decisions and to revise all the laws of Kenya. Publish it for online and give Kenyans access to these laws for free. We started, first of all, by organizing the information in the registries. We assisted the judiciary to organize its information in a manner that you can search and find documents. And then thereafter, we developed guidelines and workflow processes that culminated in us publishing our flagship book, which is the Kenya Law Reports. And this is the Kenya Law website. And this really has been our mainstay. And it's been our tool to advertise ourselves to Kenyans. Unless you're a lawyer, they cannot afford to buy the Kenya Law Reports or their law book. They can come to our website if they have internet access. We have the case search. We host about 35,000 judicial decisions. We also have Laws of Kenya, which has about 600 acts of parliament. It's accompanied by bills. We have the Kenya Gazette. We also publish the court calendar. This is updated daily. We have a quarterly publication called the Bench Bulletin. We have a newsletter as well. This is a public interest case that we publish in the newspaper, and we also send it out through email. Okay, so that is just my brief introduction on law reporting in Kenya. All right, thank you very much.